We're really excited to bring you today's session. It's a session that we had at Leadership School, and when we heard the feedback, it was that it wasn't enough.
No.
People wanted more. They're just so thirsty for it, Steve, and we're so glad that you're able to join us and really give you your words of wisdom here as well. It really comes down to having a strong social media strategy. So what we're going to do is really just kick it off and start talking about strategy. We'll talk a little bit about best practices, but I do want to remind everyone that this is going to be a 4-week series. So we're going to kind of review some of the things that we've talked about in the past on past Zooms, as well as what we did cover at Leadership School. But we're going to start here as a foundation, Steve, and then build upon that week to week. Isn't that right?
And that's the thing about it. It's just, when you think about social media, we have everybody who's at different walks of life. Some of us are brand new at social media. Some of us have some training on it, and some of us are experts at it. And I should say very few of us are experts at it. I don't claim to be sometimes an expert at it because I'm always learning as far as how it goes. But it's one of those things to where you always have to constantly learn, because once you know something, Instagram changes your algorithm and it's all like, forget about it. And, this, as Jason said, this is something that, we wanted to share. There's a lot of new stuff in here, in addition to some stuff we talked about in the past. Unfortunately, because of my heart condition at the time, I couldn't be there at Leadership School. I was able to watch Jason do an amazing performance. And, this is my time to talk to you, as well with Jason, and kind of just give you a little bit of background as far as how this all came about. Was just when Jason and I were talking with the social media team, we saw there was so much opportunity, for the team to be able to talk to our family, and when I talk about the family, I always refer to our unfranchised owner as family. The reason is because we are the first social media. We were the community that allowed us to, feel wanted, feel belong, feel for a sense of purpose. I always say the good thing about it, the best thing about our meetings isn't just the information that you learn or the networks you have. You're around positive people. And especially with us getting into a presidential race and all that we're going to be hearing a lot of negative stuff about both candidates, and a lot of mud being thrown. This is one time. This is one area that in Market America, to where everybody comes together, positivity. We root everybody on, and we look forward to it. But there's 3 reasons why people use social media. They want to be informed. They want to know more about what's happening. Think about like Twitter or X. It's become where people go to break news. Then they want to be entertained. How many times do we find ourselves just scrolling around and we see something funny from someone we had no earthly idea about, and we sit there and we show 4 or 5 people around us as if they really care in some cases, and then we have our own little fun for it. And then they want to stay connected. They want to stay connected with their friends, their families, influencers, people who they want to learn from, know about. And so it all becomes about making sure that the same things you're on there for is the same things you're producing content for. Is your content informative? Is it entertaining? Is it connective? And so we want to think about how we connect the dots. We want to connect everything to interact and engage rather than approach. And how do we do that? We build relationships. We don't sit there and we don't get behind a computer and think we can say everything to anybody. We actually build relationships and formulate relationships. We engage in conversations, whether it's conversations we're a part of or not. Sometimes, it's just about, seeing something, that's happening in another forum or another group, and all of a sudden just referencing it, or just if you learn something from it, thanking the person for putting that on there. It's so easy. It's so simple. It's so, you know, just to be nice, to be kind, and to also say thanks when it comes to this. You know, also determining the best way to connect to the prospects. Again, we're going to go through so much of this, you know, in this presentation. And then your social media profile has really become your new business card. You know, nobody hands out business cards anymore, rare or a few people. It's usually people still in the sales, you know, area when it comes to, you know, car dealerships and, you know, things of that sort, to where that is still a one-to-one relationship. But now it's like, it's a great thing because I can say, hey, listen, go follow me on social media. Go follow me, you know, at Steve Ashley at one at Instagram. And then guess what happens? They follow me, then I follow them back. It's like the easiest freebie of getting a free follower, you know, when it comes to social media. And then of course, once someone's viewing your social media, they're going to learn more about you. They're going to find out if this is somebody I want to start building a relationship, communicating with, and potentially there might be something that I'm offering them or I'm sharing with them that reaches a target audience to where they get interested.
Yeah, so true, Steve. You know, you look at a business card, right? I just found it on my desk. How much information can you get in this little card? Not nearly enough. And if
I
you
know.
do hand out a business card, where are people going anyways? They're going to go search on a social channel anyways. They're going to go look you up on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. So, you know, a business card, I'm not saying that, you know, not to have them or it's not effective, but really you make a great point. This is where people are going to really learn about
Yeah.
their contacts, right? So, you know, one of the things you have to think about is, who are you, right? Who are you? What is your identity? And what do you represent? Your social channel really is displaying your personal brand. So all the images that you put on, any of the videos, any of the posts, any of the things that you're resharing and pushing out on your stories and reels, that is a representation of you, your beliefs, your core values. So you have to understand that, just like a resume, people are looking at that content and, you know, what you're posting, how you're posting, when you're posting, and they're determining who you are. It really is all about your identity. So if that is the case, you know, you want to create content that generates conversation. And what we talk about is, you want people talking online and offline about you, your products, and your brand. And hopefully that's all very positive, right? You want that positive gossip. So through this series, we're going to be talking to you about how to create content. And I think that's one of the questions that we get most frequently is, you know, I know I should be on social media, but I don't know what to post. I don't know how to post. And we're hoping to answer those questions through this series, right? Having great content will help you extend your reach. And what does that mean? It means getting your voice in front of more people, getting your brand in front of more eyeballs. But more than that, like Steve said, it's about building a relationship. It's a virtual relationship, and that can deepen engagement, right? People want to engage with people that are similar to them or have similar interests or backgrounds or thoughts. And that's what builds loyalty. You know, building a brand is not just about having an icon and a logo like it used to be. It's not just about the graphical point. It really is about loyalty and having those loyal followers. And once you have loyal followers, that's what's going to drive more sales. When Steve mentioned it earlier, you know, we connect with people with the intent to engage with them, not the intent to approach them or sell them. You don't want to go about social media like mass marketing, where you're just posting a bunch of links and trying to promote your product. You want to promote what's important to you, because I call it the KLT factor, Steve.
Yeah.
People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So therefore, your objective online is to get people to know you, right? Who are you? A
Mm-hmm.
little bit about you, you know, your personality, maybe your family. What are your likes, your dislikes? What are your interests? You want them to like you, you know, showing your personality. Doesn't mean that you've got to be over the top extroverted. In fact, I'm an introverted individual, believe it or not. So getting people to like you for who you are, and then getting people to trust you based on the information and the content that you're sharing.
And
So
see, that's the thing about it is that sometimes we take for granted that, like, oh, people should like us or know us on social media, or that if we post a link that they should just go instantly go buy. Well, if I'm in a grocery store, if I'm somewhere else and I just go up to someone, they don't know me, they don't trust me. What makes people think that because you're on social media or you're behind a computer, keyboard, that you're going to be, that people should just instantly, know who you are and trust you? It's always like, they always, doctors, prescribe us medicine to, when it comes to, something that we need. Well, people engage with other individuals, and that's how they build the trust, because that's what you do. You formulate relationships, you collect relationships. When it comes to that, it's like what JR used to always say. He collects people, because all the people that he meets and that he collects, he learned something from every one of them. He took something from every one of them. And so it's all about engaging your fans. It's about developing that relationship. It's about establishing that rapport and that trust to then be able to get easier yeses. The more work you put into it, the more output the more output you put, the more input that's going to come back to you. And we're going to talk about different ways as far as messaging, how you go about building this know, like, trust, mentality when it comes to that. And of course, we all love storytelling. Who doesn't love a good story? Who doesn't love a good comeback story, and all that. Part of, think about, one of the biggest stories. I'm a sports nut. And right now, what's one of the biggest stories is how women's college basketball has taken off as a result of Caitlin Clark. And what happens is that this is such a positive energy to see how women's college sports, and college basketball did so much better in viewership, did so much better when it came to what it meant than men's college basketball. Who would have ever thought that when we talked about March Madness, we would be talking about Caitlin Clark, and we would be talking about watching LSU against Iowa versus watching UConn against Houston. It's something that 10, 15 years ago we never thought about. But we love great stories. We love powerful stories. And that's what happens, because it makes us feel like we're connected, that we belong to a group, that we can feel a part of that. We can go into the office, we can go meet people, and we can talk about different interests, different stories that we have. And then I think about the greatest stories of all is our own testimonials and what we've done in our lives, for that. A medical doctor or a weight loss doctor can tell you every single thing that they want, and we're going to, and because of that MD status, we're going to believe that. But it's not those people who hit us in the heart where it really matters. It's the person who struggled with weight, understands all the things that it means to go through, the mental, it's not just the physical, it's the mental anguish that being overweight does. And then when they're able to lose weight healthy, when they're able to take a product and they all of a sudden start losing weight, feeling better, it comes out of their skin. And it's one of those things to where those stories are what move us. It's the ones that are personal to us, that we can all relate to. Not always the stories about the professional experts who are just telling us, hey, believe this, believe this, believe this. Half the time we don't know what to believe, because this one said this one said this one said this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at some point.
That's so true. And you make a great point. People get an emotional tie to the story, and it moves them to take action more so than the factual information, without a doubt.
Exactly. And then what's your story? What most excites you about you that you want to share in this world? All of this is to create something we're going to talk about, which is more important than anything we can teach you today. And we'll get to that here in a couple slides. And why does that matter to you? You know, here's the thing about it. Isn't it easier to make friends with things that you have something in common with? And when I say something in common with, I'm not talking about, oh, I got to go find avid golfers because I love to play golf or I love to box. I'm not talking about that. What about just finding like-minded people that are looking for, you know, that are looking to better themselves on a day-to-day? One thing I love about Flushadelphia, and there's a lot to love about Flushadelphia, is they're reading books. They're learning about so much new stuff. They're trying to better themselves as a person because what they're trying to do is that sometimes, listen, and I dealt with it when I was young. I started at Market American when I was 13 years old packing boxes. It took me a long time to gain respect, to gain the trust of our friends and family, you know, our franchise owners, because some people just came in, saw me as a young kid, you know, some young teenager. And so what I had to do was I had to earn that respect by doing the necessary things to develop myself, to show confidence in me. And then that confidence, that knowledge, that respect I gave to everyone then came back in tenfolds to me on the long term. You know, how did you begin your journey? Where did your journey begin? I can tell you from my standpoint, I remember when Thermochrome was out there, and you know, it was amazing. You could give a sample of Thermochrome 5000, and in 3 days you were getting a repeat sale. And then we had Isotonics, we had the OPC3, and then, you know, we had TLS and other products. My journey that I can tell everybody is that when I stopped playing baseball, I was in a relationship like so many of us get into, and that, you know, we have a rough relationship. And what do we do when we have bad relationships? We overeat. We do everything, you know, we do things that are non-productive and bad habits. And so what I did was I was eating the same or more, and I wasn't working out. And so what happened was I went from my playing rate at 220 to 350 pounds. And I started looking at myself. I was unhealthy. I was not happy with my life, etc. And then when we came out with our Transitions Lifestyle program, all of a sudden I started making the changes through that, through Core, through a lot of the different products that we offer. And then I started losing weight. And then when you lose weight, there's something that happens. You get confidence. You all of a sudden want to keep going and going and going. And then your journey becomes much larger than you from that. And the great thing about social media is that you can share your journey with so many others. And what's going to happen is you're going to get hundreds or thousands of people that don't know you from a hill of beans that are going to come in and start liking your content. And now you're formulating relationships.
And that's really the impact, isn't it? It's, you know, people want to follow your journey. And when you share that journey, you're actually having a positive impact on other people that are maybe just like you, and you would never know that. I'm sure all of you may have someone that you're following and you're following their journey, and there's something about it that you're attracted to. So think of you as the consumer of the content, but what kind of content can you push out? So start thinking about, what is your story? What is your journey? Where were you? Where did you start from? Where are you today? And where do you hope to end up? And as you craft that story and really share that journey with others, they're going to be attracted to learn more. And that's all part of the kind of content creation we're talking about.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, and you see this so much on social media, people posting links about products. Go buy my products, go buy my products, go see this, go see that. And it's just like, it gets to the point to where you become numb to it. And it's not the right way to market on social media because, one, you haven't earned any one of their trust. They're going to start not liking you for doing it. So you're doing everything backwards. You know, instead, focus on building relationships, engaging in conversations, and sharing your life experiences. I always say, don't focus on suspects who are just curious about, what you do, and focus your time on the prospects, those who are serious. I don't want to just send someone a link to go buy something because they feel obligated to do that. I'm gonna qualify that person through direct messages, not on my chat, but I'm going to take them to a direct message and I'm going to have that conversation. I'm going to ask them some questions that I would want to ask of any one of either my customers or a future on franchise owner, just like I do right now. And I'm going to take that offline, and then I'm going to see who are those suspects or who are those prospects.
I love that, Steve. The suspects versus prospects. And I think all too often people are just trying to push content out because they think it's going to be the way to attract people. And they're kind of mass advertising or mass marketing products, hoping that they'll get a sale that way. But this really is still a one-to-one marketing relationship business, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Who wants to go into the store and you've got the salesperson right on top of you? No one wants that. Well, that's all you're doing when you're sending out a bunch of links. But if there's one thing I want to focus on today, and we're going to focus on a few different things, it's about who is your ideal customer? Who are you trying to attract on social media? Everybody wants to go in and they throw up a couple posts and then they say, Steve, I got 2 likes and they were from my family. Or I went on live and I had 1 person join my live. Don't you think we all have been there? We all had to start from somewhere, and we became something because we put in the work. We kept posting content. We kept creating content. We started realizing that our face is our brand, and that people buy our face, they buy our heart, they buy what we know, etc. And the only way to break through that is to get behind the camera and actually do it yourself. Get on there, do a live story, get on there, talk to people, share with things that you want to find in your ideal customer. And I want everybody, as Jason's going through what that is, and where that is, I want you to kind of close your eyes and think about, who am I trying to attract? And is the content that I'm posting attracting that customer? Is it that 40-year-old housewife who's looking for additional income, or is it that business professional, or whatever the case may be? As Jason goes through this, I want you to think about, what is your ideal customer as he talks through some of the steps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do we all want customers and prospects? Absolutely. But we don't want to just take anyone that can fog a mirror. There's got to be some strategy, because we're aligning with our customers. We build a relationship with our customers and with our prospects. So we have to know who that target market is. So I want you to think right now about your audience. Right now, your audience might just be the entire social network you're on, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, but you got to narrow it down. You've got to figure out, who are you looking to serve, right? You've got to lead with your heart, and it's about identifying who that person might be and what challenges they might be having, what problems might they be facing, so that you can potentially have a solution and meet them where they're at. So I want you to think about right now, what are 3 to 5 subjects or topics that interest you, that you continually post about? What are some things that are part of your lifestyle? We talk about lifestyle branding. Do you like to travel? Are you someone who's into fitness? Do you like working out? Do you like adventure? Maybe you like hiking or biking or rock climbing. Maybe you like music. Maybe you like going to see some live concerts. Maybe it's RV living, or maybe you're an animal lover. You've got dogs or cats. What about your children, right? Children, and maybe their sporting events, cars. I know Alex is on tonight. I know Alex is a big car junkie. I see his posts, right? He loves, these kind of Formula One types of cars, motorcycles, outdoor living, entrepreneurship, right? We can talk about people that just like personal development, entrepreneurship, following business practices. What about inspirational quotes, family, fashion? That the whole thing is all about lifestyle and what makes you you. What are the things that you are really interested in that you post about? because that's where you're going to start. That's where you're going to start identifying not only what content you're creating, but this is where you can identify a newer audience. And I think, Steve, a lot of people realize that, they've got a list of contacts and they want to expand that list and they're trying to get into new circles, but they keep talking to the same people. They keep posting their information in front of the
Yes.
same people. So this is all about expanding your reach into a new audience.
And real
So
quick, Jason, and I see Julie wrote a comment as far as like, translating the idea of attracting the ideal customer. Well, when you got to think about the ideal customer, as it relates to, the ABC pattern or unfranchised business, you can't be a master of everything. When you're a master of everything, you're a master of nothing, from that. You have to pick what you're interested in, what you want to find that you can have common threads with another individual, whether that is in the healthcare space, whether that is the health and nutrition space, whether that is in the cosmetics space, whatever, or whether it is just somebody who's just looking for change. And so therefore, so what you need, what your focus is with that ideal customer is who can you relate to? Who can you benefit from and they can benefit from you? And what is the content that both of you would enjoy? Because if you both are enjoying content, you both have similar goals, objectives, etc. That's the 200 million people that social media provides you that we would never go on. Let me relate it to this. When we all grew up, there was no, it was taboo to go do a dating app. Like, who in their right mind would go on an app to go find people who they didn't know and would go out on dates with them? It was always about my friends of a friend knows somebody that I want to set you up with and all of that. Now, think about all the relationships that have been found because people who live in Wisconsin would have never met someone who lived in Florida. But because of a dating app, now all of a sudden they made connections. Well, guess what? Social media is your connection. Social media could be your connection to the next Elizabeth Weber, to the next Joanne Shee, or to the next professional coordinator who just wants to pay a few of their bills and gets in this business because they love their products. That's what it does. So therefore, so we have to change our thinking about like, oh, well, there's so many people, but nobody. You have to put in the work like we're going to show you here tonight and through the next 4 weeks and potentially beyond. And you're going to start finding the right people, that you're going to want to meet that are going to either become customers, that are going to become UFOs, or going to become people that are resources for you.
that's right. It's all about that connection, and leading to people that you may not otherwise have had contact with. The idea is, the way these algorithms and the social networks work is that you're going to have the same type of content and the same individuals that you are engaging with showing up in your feed. So you might have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers or friends, but you're only seeing a limited amount of those people in your newsfeed, and vice versa. Only some of those people are seeing your information. So the idea is certainly you want to expand your reach within the visibility of your existing contacts, but let's go identify ways to get new contacts and show up in their feeds as well and build that online relationship like Steve, you're mentioning. So, identify where these individuals that have these similar interests, where might they hang out online? Where do they hang out? Where do they hang out in person? This is not just about online, it could be offline as well. But what types of Facebook groups or pages are they following? Are they in a LinkedIn group? Are they on Insta? And who are they following? So you want to start developing a short list of these other areas that might have an entire database of people that have that same interest, right? Who are they following? Who are the gurus? And you'll find through this exercise, when you start joining some of these groups, you'll see comments and people replying, and they're having the same conversations that you'd like to have a conversation with. So
Yes.
now you have a point where now you can have a connection because you have a common interest talking about a common topic.
And the thing about it is when you're on these type of hangouts, when you're on these are already people, like let's just say you're on some of the famous direct sales people. Guess what? They're all selling something. Okay. They've all been sold just like we've all been sold. Okay. So they're not on there to do that. What they are is that they're looking for ways to better their business, to grow their business. Sometimes it's not about what they can do for me monetarily, it's what they can do for me between the ears and how they can make me a stronger person when it comes to the knowledge that I can learn from them. And that's why it's so important to be engaged with these communities. And also the biggest reason why I love also being a part of, following certain people and all that, I love stealing content. I love being able to see great content that they're using and then putting it into my own content to attract the ideal customer I'm looking for.
That's right. It all comes down to networking and becoming a friend-making machine, right? And that doesn't mean just hitting the friend button, right, to 100 people.
Yeah.
It's being a little bit selective and seeing, in the chat, it was, do you just accept every friend request that comes in? Well, right now, I don't know if it's spam or what they're really about. So I'm not just going to accept everyone blindly. I'm going to click on them. I'm going to see what they're about. If I think they align with, my same values, or I see some of the imagery or things that they're posting, there might be a connection there. Then I might add them. In some cases, I might decline. But it's a process, just like in the schoolyard when you're in elementary school, right? You're going to know everyone, but doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be friends, close tied to everyone. Right. So here's some things that you guys can do immediately starting today is to friend or comment 5 times daily. Right. I know people are spending their time on these devices. They're scrolling, vertically, they're scrolling horizontally. Use some of that scroll time for your benefit, right? For your benefit. Start posting, start commenting on other people's posts, and then start putting out some friend requests. Check their profile pages. You want to be a little bit selective, like I said.
Keep going with that, Jason. I'm gonna piggyback on you in a second.
Yeah. And then you also will notice that you might have some common acquaintances or mutual friendships with some of these people. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is that it's so wild, Steve. You'll be looking at mutual contacts and they'll be from like 3 or 4 different areas of your life. Like maybe they're friends with one of your old classmates, then they might be friends with one of your neighbors in town, and then they're friends with someone that you lost touch with from a sporting camp like decades ago, and you're like, how is this one person connected to all the same people as me?
Yeah.
And that builds a little bit more value and trust because those people know other people besides just 1 or 2 from different areas of your life. So you want to look at some of these mutual commonalities, but people that have 20 or more mutual friends, you might find that they might be Mark and America on franchise owners, and there's a large database of people that we all know each other, right? So you want to be, looking at those mutual friendships to see how you might know them and how you might know their network as well.
And that's the thing about it is that, look at who those people are that they know. And if you start seeing a lot of Market America connections and all of that, that's someone you want to be friends with, but that's not someone you're looking to recruit. That's not somebody you're potentially putting a lot of time in unless they're part of your business, organization and all that stuff. So I always look for, if I see 20 or more people from Market America, I put that in one bucket. And then if I get another one that has maybe 1 or 2 connections, then I put that in another bucket because that might be someone I might want to cultivate and all that. Now, when I say that, don't be the spammer. And I'm going to tell you, this was probably 5 years ago. And listen, I'm going to be authentic and I'm going to be straight up with every one of you guys when it comes to what I talk about. We had a guy who, we had an unfranchised owner who would go on, and all of a sudden he was a friend of mine. And what he did was he literally used used the fact that he was a friend of mine on Facebook to go after all of my friends on social media that were not Market America and franchise owners. And I would get people all the time that I remember I had a few people come to me and initially, and they're like, who is this blank blank? I won't say his name, because I don't know if he's still in the business or not. But and he would do that, and then they would say, because he just brought up that he was very close with you, and that he wanted me to see that you would want me to see what Market American building an unfranchised business is about. That's not social media. That's called the person who we don't like. That's the person we don't trust. And that's the people who, guess what? Block, 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 block all the time. Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And we start talking about like do's and don'ts. This is another one, is that when you are connecting with people, you want to make sure that you are leading, being authentic and genuine, and not leading with the products or business, right? All too often, some people get a little anxious and they see someone post something that catches their attention. They say, oh, I want to friend them, or I want to send them a message. They'd be great in the business, or, this would be a perfect product for them. And they jump on the opportunity to try and sell the product. Again, step back a little bit, forget your agenda, stop trying to sell or recruit in different groups, really focus on the relationship. Because the more that you focus on the relationship, you can have a conversation, to Steve's point, about their challenge, about their lives. And as they open up, they start not only knowing you and liking you, but they start trusting you, so that when you do make a recommendation, you've got a higher opportunity to convert. And really, it's not about selling anything. It's about helping them. It's about solving problems. So you got to lead with love and kind of take the agenda off the table. Just go out and be a good human being. For those that have been to my local seminar, it's like one of my number one tips for prospecting is to just be a decent human being, right? And it goes a long way, especially on social media.
For sure. Now, I know everybody loves a script. So I'm going to give you a few things that I want you to do, when it has little takeaways. Okay. And this is things that is low hanging fruit. This is stuff that we have that we have available to us on a daily basis that we never utilize. When you go in and you have people who are following you on Instagram, following you on TikTok, forget about just Facebook right now with the friendships, but that they're following you, on social media. So in this case, if I'm following myself on social media, all I have to do is go to my notifications, and I can see every person who's now followed me over the last day, 2 week, whatever. And so what I'll do is I will go click on their profile. I'll go see what we have in common, why this person might have liked me, or started following me, etc. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to send them a simple direct message. Hey, Tom, thank you for connecting with me. How are you? That's it.
I love it. I love it. So
nothing, no reason to overcomplicate it, nothing to do it. I do it with all the people that I see following me that I'm going to have a shared interest with, that I could deem as a potential ideal customer. And I just DM them. Hey, thank you, Tom. How are you? Thank you for connecting with me. How are you? Let's take it another route on this. Let's go to the next one. Let's talk about when you add a friend, or when you add a friend who's a stranger. This could be someone, when we talked about the communities, this could have been Jason, who's with another network marketing company, posting on a Jim Rome, posting a comment on one of his posts, talking about something that I either got a lot of information from, or that I said that I talked through it and commented as well on. Well, that might be someone that I want to follow up with and just build a relationship. I'm not looking for UFOs. I'm not looking for customers initially. I'm building relationships. I'm collecting business. I'm collecting relationships. So what I do in that scenario is that I'm going to not just add Jason as a friend, but I'm going to write in there how I found out, how I know them or how I found them. So I would say, hey, Jason, when I send the add to friend, I'm not just sending a blanket add to friend. I never send a blanket add to friend. What I do is I say, hi, hi, Jason. I saw you commenting on the Jim Rome, post a couple days ago. I couldn't agree with you more. What do you think about this? Always end with the question. Always end, hey, I would like to connect with you. Guess what happens? They're not thinking that you're strange or weird for just randomly just picking them. Now they're forming a relationship because they're saying, oh, this is a person who likes Jim Rome. He probably likes other speakers. He probably is a very motivated person. And then that's it. You build and you start the conversation when it comes to that. And
Yeah.
then as you build the relationship, on the next slide, think about all the things you do offline and do it online. And when in doubt, let me tell you about 4 simple things. Talk about location, talk about occupation, talk about recreation, and talk about goals. Here's a simple way to do this. Let's say I'm thinking about going to play golf in Arizona. And I see that that Jim, is a avid golfer in Arizona. And it's somebody who I've been noticing, whether it be through communities or whatever, or just what's being said about local, who's commenting on certain golf courses that I'm looking to go play in Arizona. Well, what do I do is I reach out to Jim and say, hey, Jim, nice to meet you. I see that you live in the Arizona area. I'm planning on doing a trip there next month to play golf. And I noticed that you played a lot of the golf courses. Could you recommend any golf courses for me? Well, guess what? You now all of a sudden started with a location as well as a recreation, all in the same thing. It becomes a friendly conversation, that you're having with the individual. Oh, great. These are the 3 spots that I love to do. That's fantastic. How often do you get to play? Oh, I don't get to play as much because I have to work often. Oh, well, luckily my profession allows me to be able to take these as business trips and to go on the golf course like I did with Kelly Whitehead at Pebble Beach. And I go on there and you start talking through it. And guess what happens? All of a sudden you start building friendships, you start building relationships, and you're building that trust that you didn't have with that person to be able to engage with them for that. And always make note of pain points and opportunities. They're golden nuggets that you have to find, and then you have to not always throw salt on it. We always want to throw salt. Oh, well, I'm Penny Lafferty. I get to have, and I'm joking with Penny because I see her in the chat here, and all that. But I'm Penny Lafferty. I get to do this and this and this. No, Penny Lafferty works her tush off. And she's building and cultivating relationships and all of that stuff. She uses pain points as ways in which to to find the heart of the person and the person of the person, so that she can then connect with them on that level to then introduce them potentially to the unfranchised business.
So many great points made there, Steve. I think a lot of times you talk about reaching out into groups and people are afraid that, well, if I don't get them now, I'm never going to get them because someone else will get them. Let's not focus on getting anyone, because again, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and you will be unique. You will be different when you can provide value compared to who they might be getting bombarded with from maybe other companies, right? So as you're building your circle of influence, you're looking to just develop value so that people enjoy being around you, looking forward to you. What about when people comment on your post, Steve? What do you do there?
And then if someone comments on my post, all I simply do is say, "Hey Octavio, thanks so much for the support of my post. How are you?" That's it. I always lead with "How are you?" because I want to extend the conversation. I don't know, I always have a simple question for them to answer, or a simple thing for them to do, and all of that. And that's what and that's what I do. Everything I do is very simple when it comes to that, because I am not a salesperson, nor do I like salespeople being too salesy for me. So therefore, I try to treat someone when I'm wanting to build a relationship with them as the person that I would want them to treat me when it comes to that.
Oh, that's just
Now, Jason,
amazing.
there's so many platforms out there. How do you choose the right one?
Yeah, and it came up earlier, I'm only comfortable with Facebook. Do I need to be on TikTok? I like to just say find one that you're comfortable with, that you participate in, and work on that one. You don't need to be on all of them, but different social networks offer you different capabilities. So we'll talk through them. Facebook, obviously has been around for a long time, and it's the one a lot of people are most comfortable with initially. It allows you to have a variety of content. So we talk about making a post in a text. You can have pictures, but also videos. But what's really engaging audiences more than ever are live Facebook videos and sharing the stories, right? So having that vertical video that you share, and it disappears in a certain time frame. So it keeps people wanting to come back and watch more content from you. So there tends to be more engagement. So the other nice thing about Facebook is that there are groups, which helps you to connect with a community or build your own community that offers you the ability to create authority. So maybe you're a Nutrimetrics health professional, or maybe you're a Motives beauty advisor. You can create a sense of authority by starting your own maybe private group, and you're inviting people in to participate in that group. So that's another thing that we'll talk more about in the future, is leveraging Facebook groups to grow your business. And then Instagram, very visual platform, right? You're sharing pictures with photos, but also adding videos. And again, those short form videos called Reels have a certain lifespan to them. So what happens is that you can create a bunch of video short content in this reel, and then it's going to drop off within 24 hours. It starts dropping off. And some people are so concerned with, what if I had a really great content and I don't want to lose it? Well, you can create your own menu and save it into your Instagram profile, so you can kind of create your own little library on different topics. And that's something that when people go to your page, they can go back and revisit a lot of this content. So love Instagram, love the pictures and videos. Steve, you're an Instagram guy, right? IG all the way.
Of course, absolutely. I love Instagram. I spend most of my I spend my time when I do go on social media engaging in Instagram, because to me it's the easiest way to find people like-minded like myself and all of that, to where Facebook has become a little bit of a noise fest. And and as well as LinkedIn. I mean, I can't even go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn used to be one of the best ones. Now it's literally like I got every single offshore company asking me for something. I got this guy who wants to finance companies. I can't keep up with the stuff anymore.
Yeah, it is so hard. Now, one of the things that these social networks also allow you to do, and Steve, you reference this, is direct messaging. So someone you're connected with, you can message on Facebook through Facebook Messenger. You also have direct messages through Instagram. You can also connect through LinkedIn for people that you're, connected to. But now we've got the really powerful video
Yeah.
format social channels, which is TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Now, these are really quick, engaging video, and you're seeing people scroll through this video content very quickly, but you can add in some engaging pieces, like adding gifs or badges or stickers and links. And that's where we're going to focus on helping you create this content, or stealing our corporate content to leverage that to share your link. So we'll talk about that here momentarily. But I think one of the areas that I think a lot of people are missing out on, Steve, is YouTube Shorts,
Let me
right?
tell you something. I think anybody who's missing out on YouTube doesn't have young kids,
Yeah,
because the bottom line is this next generation is growing up on YouTube. They're not on Netflix. They're not on they're not watching direct TV. They are watching YouTube. They're on there. I watch my daughter who'll go on just going through different people's channels, etc. Well, then what happened was I started making fun of my daughter. I was like, Violet, you got to stop watching this. The challenge was I started realizing I was falling asleep to YouTube Shorts myself because they were so engaging and so inviting. So, so if you want to go build your next generation, build a legacy, go learn YouTube, go find what's successful on YouTube. And I can guarantee you, your business is going to be built for the next 30, 40, 50 years, because that's where all the content is gravitating to.
yeah, absolutely. And we talk about, launching into this new demographic, right? We now have the ability to have 16 and 17-year-olds become
Yeah.
franchise owners. So it's something to pay attention to. Maybe not for you. Maybe you're like, I'm not so sure. I'm just getting a handle of Instagram. But when you look at that next generation, if you're looking to really grow for the long haul, to Steve's point, that is a generation that is living on YouTube. And if you can help them identify ways that they can monetize their own following and their own content, there's something there. So we'll continue to do more
Mhm.
on each of these networks as we move forward. But it's just good to have an idea of where you're comfortable, what content you like to consume, but also where you can publish and create content. And the idea is, let's make sure that we're all working together and helping each other out. And that's working with your own teams in your local areas, people that you're connected to. You should be liking, loving,
Yes.
um, caring, every type of way that you can help engage, because what's good for one is good for all, and what's good for all is good for one. And we're our own economy, our community, I should say. And we want to really make sure that you're helping each other out. So when you're on your social networks, throw a like, throw a love, throw a comment,
Yes.
reply, and that's going to be good for all of us.
And it's the easiest thing you can do. It's showing some love to one of your team members, to an organization that you're not even a part of, but that you're getting a lot of information from, because you can reciprocate that. And then what happens is you're building in the algorithm more and more engagement going forward for you both. And so it's something that's a no-brainer. And the other thing I just don't understand is that why more and more people don't write reviews on shop.com and unfranchise. As an unfranchise owner myself, I think about the fact that I send someone over to my shop.com site, okay, to go purchase. Well, I personally love Ultimate Aloe strawberry kiwi. It's what's in my drink every night. I have this magnesium every single night, before I go to sleep. And so if I'm not writing a review, how can I sit there and tell my customer to go buy Ultimate Aloe? They look through the reviews and they don't see my name. They don't see my review. How much do I really care about the product if I can't even take 2 minutes to write a review about whether I like what I don't like? Listen, I don't care if you don't like the product. Write a review about it and just care about it. But you should be doing this for your business because there's the power in numbers. Imagine if someone's going on to, the Essence, which has become a huge product. So many people have talked so much about the Essence, but we're not seeing any reviews. So our customers aren't excited about it. So guess what? If they're not seeing it, you're losing sales, from that. So you got to do the reviews. Sorry, I know I'm talking. I know we're a little bit a little bit behind, but I missed everybody, and so I want to make sure that they're getting the most from me.
No, and it's such a good point. I mean, we all love our products, and we have to be, our best customer ourselves. So why aren't we sharing our reviews on shop.com, or even just doing it on franchise for the products? Such a great point. And the idea is you want to have intent when you're posting, right? There's got to be a reason, and it comes back to what are your interests and what are you trying to share with the people that follow you. Best performing content, live video for sure. Your Facebook and Instagram live rank is highest, and if you're not there yet, just start with maybe one a week. Plan it out, do one a week. You've got your reels, you've got your stories, and the idea is the more consistent you become, you're going to end up being one of the top at the top left of the vertical or horizontal scroll. And that's where you want to be. That's where you're going to get the most visibility from your followers. And of course, images. You say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth 1,000,000. So, text is great, and you can be pushing out great content, but you capture people's attention when they're scrolling a mile a minute. And you do that with videos or colored background with quotes and live video. And we'll start giving you some more examples, and we'll have this in the workbooks for you guys to start seeing what kind of information to share. I was someone who wasn't comfortable behind a camera, but what I started doing was I bought a 365-day desk calendar that had positive quotes. And every day I just put the quote from my calendar and put that on my social feed. It was a great to get positive quotes, and people loved it. Nothing is more shared than positive quotes on the social networks.
No doubt about that. And I mean, when in doubt, think about things that would matter to other people. Share a story about, share your story and how you got to where you are. Share a testimonial of a customer. Share a win. Share quotes. Like Jason said. Answer common questions. Share your morning routine. People love seeing behind the scenes content. Of what people do. People are nosy people. We are nosy people. We like to know things about how this person, what they do in the morning, what makes them successful, what makes them what is Drayton doing in the gym that's giving him, his body. People are nosy. So therefore, use that, as something for that.
Yeah, for sure. And again, we'll have, just take a screenshot of this and think about what kinds of things that you can share consistently. And that's going to make a difference. Most importantly is to be authentic.
Yes.
Be genuine, just be you. No one can be a better you than you, right? You might feel uncomfortable or quirky. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the thing about it is that, what might seem strange to you, someone else might relate to, and all of that stuff. That's, whenever there's something personal going on to me, there used to be the whole thing, fake it until you make it. Well, here's the problem. When you fake it until you make it, by the time you make it, you don't know what you really are. You don't know the person you are. You forget who you really are. And therefore, you're really just being someone that you're not, and all of that. So be your authentic self. If you are a family person, show the fact that you're a family person. I will always say that, so many people, when they say why, what their why is, they come up and they say it's their kids. Well, that's true, but what about the things that you're doing to make sure you can live long enough to be with your why? I learned through this whole last month that, I always said my why was my daughter, Violet. Well, now over this last month, I've changed my why a bit, and it's, I need to do the things for me personally to make sure I'm healthy enough to be with my daughter for when she goes to college, when she gets married, when she has all these milestones. That's all our kids care about is that their parents are with them for the major milestones in their life. They don't care about the money they have or anything else. They want to be there. They want you to be there for their milestones.
Yeah, absolutely. So just sharing a day in the life, right? A day in the life of Steve Ashley and what's important to Steve. It could be any of these other things, recipes or unboxing. I love when people get their Market America packages and they're unboxing and they're videoing what products are in there. That is all very interesting to people
So
that
you're
are
nosy too,
following you.
Jason. I get it. You want to
What's
see
that?
what people are buying.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is another good example, using things like the Tower protein, mixing up your ultimate aloe, because people are going to, just like if it's on your counter, if they're not used to what that product is, they're going to say, "What's that?" It builds that curiosity. And of course, you want to make sure you're paying attention to who is viewing your stories. And yeah, you'll see a lot of Market America people, but you'll see some other people
Yes.
that are watching your stories that may surprise you, and it gives you an opportunity to start that conversation right in direct messaging. Click on the little message button, you can start that conversation offline.
And again, what's your comment? Hey, Jason, thank you. I see, thank you for what, for liking my stories. How are you doing? All that stuff. Everything can lead into simple, just how's life going, etc. One of the things we're going to talk about now has been one of the most successful things we've done in years, and that is Lauren's Blueprint for Success. It is what we've done 3 different tours now, Lauren and Andrew and the team. It has sold out every single location that we've been to. We had a brand new record with Toronto with over, I think, 700 people in attendance at the Toronto one. And now when you got to understand that, everybody has to bring at least one guest. So therefore, so when you think about 700 people, that's a minimum of 350 non-Market America UFOs who are now experiencing the Market America business in a way that's not only potentially going to lead them to a customer and a franchise, but what most people are saying is it's helping them in their own personal, goals, their own personal profession, etc. We've seen that, the numbers show that we are right now getting 3-to-1 guest to UFO ratio. Now, think about that. Think about if you're able to attend a free event and you're bringing 3 new guests. Think about what your opportunities are, to bring that person into an unfranchised business. Now, I get to share with you something that no one else knows about. That's going to be introduced here shortly this morning to Asia Pacific and to the UK. Lauren is going to be doing a special virtual event. She is going to be taking the Blueprint for Success tour, and she's going to be bringing it for one night only to people in Asia Pacific and to the UK. So all of our international markets who haven't been able to see it in the US and in Canada are going to be able to see this, from that. And guess what? Same as the event itself. Your cost for admission is simply you have to register a guest to the Blueprint for Success tour. We're going to do this in Mandarin, Cantonese, Indonesian, and Malay. So we're going to have full translation because we want everybody in Asia Pacific to join this, to be a part of this. It's going to be Wednesday, May 1st, 8 a.m. Because that's Asia Pacific's nighttime. So all the people from Australia, Singapore, Malaysia that I'm seeing, Taiwan, make sure you're a part of this because this is one night only for Lauren and the Blueprint for Success, and you're going to get your guest out there to see what this is all about.
Yeah. So looking forward to that next week, Steve.
Yes. And then what about the next chapter of the Blueprint for Success? Lauren's going to be doing a ton more of Blueprint for Success tours. But now what we've done is she got into people's minds, got into people's hearts, got people irritated, as JR would say, because they wanted to go out and do more. The amount of people that kept saying, I woke up thinking about Lauren's comments about what she told us to do each and every morning. Now we're going to bring it to the product side of things, and so we're going to have the Blueprint for Success Health Tour. Again, another 2-hour training that Dr. D, we're going to launch it in 5 different markets. Toronto, nobody deserved it more than you. So we're going to lead off in Toronto on April 29th. We're going to go into Montreal, New York City, Philadelphia, and Tampa. Guess what? Same cost to admission. All you got to do is get a registered customer to come with you to one of these events. Now, the beautiful thing about it, your customer and you are going to learn about tests, there's going to be live on-site demonstrations of products. You're going to learn from MDs at many of these locations, if not all of them, in addition to Dr. D. You're going to have testimonials, and you're going to have the opportunity, your guests, to buy products after the event itself. So now, so how many times do we go in and we hear something great and, and we have to sit there and go think about to go buy it? Well, by that point, we've already thought, oh, maybe it's too expensive. Maybe I don't want this. What did it do? I don't know. You start coming up with excuses. You hit them while the fire is hot, while the flame is burning, and you're going to learn about Core 3 Health. They're going to learn about the benefits of it, the benefits of, other Isotonics products, for that. And then they're going to have the ability to walk right outside and make a purchase and bring the product home with them. It's not about shipping it. We're going to have product on hand for them to purchase. Now, let's talk about how we go about sharing this. And, we talked about how different ways of sharing and all of that stuff. I'm going to focus in on Instagram. Now, when you go to your Unfranchised page, this is how you're going to invite people. You're going to go into Unfranchised, and you're going to see on Unfranchised a banner that's promoting this new, this new health, this new Blueprint for Success Health Tour. You're going to click on that, and you're going to then click on whichever one of these you want to do. I'm going to click on Instagram, what I'm going to show you here. Okay. Now, you guys, I'm going to slow this down. So if you guys want to go on this, I'm not asking you to post this on your social. I just want you to get on your phones for a second, and I just want you to go through the sharing process with me. First of all, I'm not even worried about you going to Unfranchise right now. I want you to go to Unfranchise. I want you to go to Instagram. I want you to pull up your Instagram, and I want you to go to search for Market America. So you're going to search for Market America right here, and I'm going to show this. So I'm going to search for Market America. It's going to come up with the account for Market America, and I'm going to simply click it, okay? That's all I'm doing. The first pinned post is Dr. Deidre's health tour, okay? All I want you to do is click on that, okay? This is going to be the video. I have my sound turned off, because I'm doing the Zoom. I want you to go down the little paper, the little flying paper that we used to do in class. I want you to click on it. Okay. Then I want you to select any one of. I want you to then add it to your story. Okay. You're going to get this. Okay. Can you go to the next page for me, Jason?
Yep.
I want you to click the uppercase A and the lowercase a. And I want you to write in exactly what I put in there. So I'm going to give you a minute to write in what I posted in there. Okay, now once you're done, and again, I only put it up halfway. So we post time to put your health first. 2 free tickets to this sold out experience. First two DMs gets them. So when you put in that, here's what I want you to do, because it's going to show the text over the video. I don't want that to be, okay? I'm going to want to pull this video with my finger and I'm going to push it down so that it's down above where the chat is. And then I'm going to move with my finger by holding it over. I'm going to move the text up. Now here I can expand it by zooming out, or I can zoom in for it. Okay. Then once I do that, all I'm going to do is then go to the sticker function, which is the little smiley face. And then I'm going to click on that. I'm going to look for link, which here it's right here. It's on my 5th level. And then I'm going to drop in whatever was my unfranchised tracking code that I pulled from there. I'm just going to paste it in here. And then guess what? Once I'm done with that, I preview it, I send it out. That's as easy it is to share that story. I wanted to take a few extra minutes for us to go through this process because I know that it can be very quick. And I wanted to make sure that I slowed down to actually go through the process so that we all got it.
So good, Steve. So good. Step by step, very easy to follow, and make sure people are sharing great content, and of course their unfranchised link. Love it.
Exactly. So now we're going to be doing this on other social media weeklies, so social media Mondays, going into products and how we do that. So we're not going to go into that, but know that that is coming in future, ones of these.
That's right. And as you mentioned many times, is that it's not just about the post or the comment. It really is about going into direct messages and getting to the one-on-one relationship, taking it as close to from online to offline as possible, because that's where the relationship happens. So it might start with a comment, it might start with a reply or a like, but you really want to get into the point where you can have conversations, right? So all this business is conversations, solving people's problems, identifying those potential pain points, and then giving them a potential solution. And that can just start with you providing information for sure.
Exactly, because conversations are the new leads. And real quick, Chanel, Rochelle, and some of the other people who missed a few things, it's okay. We're going to do this at every single one of these, and we're going to make sure we have videos to show everybody how to do this the right way. So realize this is going to be an ongoing thing. Conversions are the conversations. If I can talk right, conversations are the new leads. When someone interacts with your post, start the conversation and always move it to DMs. Do not do it in public forums. Why is that? Because conversions happen only 1% of the time when you send something to them on the public channel. If you take it to the DMs, it now becomes a personal one-to-one relationship. Then you have a 46% chance of getting them to do something. That could be you sending them a Market America product catalog. This could be other different things. You want to get them into DMs and you want to then get that conversation moved over. Now, this is a slide that doesn't just apply to social media. This applies to the business. Okay. We can have the best presentation, show the best one-to-one home kit, flip chart. We can have the best UBP. And if someone's closed-minded, it was for a complete waste. Because you're not going to get someone who's got their head blocked and their mind blocked to do anything or to change their mind. You only are looking for people who have the door opened and that you can persuade them to persuade that people who need help. And this is what I always do. So when I find out that after engaging in a relationship with someone or building that relationship with someone, I will at some point feel like that I've earned enough trust with them and they've earned enough trust with me that I can simply say, hey, Mary, would you be open to checking out some more information on a breakthrough system that I've used to help lose weight and may be beneficial to you? I'm not telling what, think about what I just said. I just asked them a simple question. I didn't tell them what business I'm with. I didn't tell them what product I'm about to sell. Why? Because I don't want them doing research without me talking through it with them. I don't want any perceived notions that is going to cause them to say, oh, well, I already looked at it. It's not for me, or that product isn't going to work right and all that stuff. I don't want that. I want to generate curiosity, and then that curiosity then turn into me sharing more about what this product has done, whether that's Core3 Health, whether that's my Ultimate Aloe, magnesium cocktail every night, whatever the case may be. I'm never going to share that until they answer the question. Sure, sure, I'd love to hear about this system that you're talking about. It may be a yes, it may be a no. I don't care. Move on to the next person if it's a no. And then remember, some of our best builders in this business, because we have such amazing products, started as just customers of these products. Some of them were not interested in, the earning $300, earning $2,100. They just loved OPC3. They loved the benefits they were getting off of it, and they wanted to buy the product. Then later, they started then later they started realizing that there was other people who they knew that loved this product, and that they started doing that. So we want to start thinking about matching product to people and people to product.
Yeah, so good. So good.
And then the customer follow-up. Think about the people who haven't reordered from you, whether it comes to Core3 or whether it comes to Core3 Beauty or whatever. Instead of pounding the door saying, did you not like it, putting them on the defensive, never lead off with, why did you not reorder? Always ask them about their experience. Hey, Deborah, I saw that, I know that you bought Core3 Health 45 days ago. I was wondering what your experience with the product was. Leave it about positivity. Find out that you're looking to gather information. You're looking to gain tidbits, because whether they might not have liked something on that or they loved it, you don't know until you make it a less defensive and a more personal way to do it. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about those people who have loved the product, who are reordering, and what it means to be a great customer manager and what you should be doing now. Well, the first thing you should be doing is reaching out to them to go get reviews. And the reason why the reviews, like I talked about earlier, customer reviews sell. Here's a few stats. 85% of customers said they read up to 10 reviews before they purchase a product. 35% said better reviews have driven them to spring for more higher priced options. Think about that. They came there for one product and they got sold on other products. That's called add-on selling. That's called upselling. And what that means for you, more IBV, more retail profit, more BV for you as an enfranchised owner. The purchase likelihood of someone with a 5 stars, or which is 5 reviews, is 270% greater than one with no products reviews. Why? Because if there's no product reviews, there's nothing to relate. People don't think that it's worth anything. It's when you grew up and you were the kid at Chuck E. Cheese with one friend. No, but you want to have the big birthday party. You want to be the excitement. You want to have fun, all that stuff. And then 88% trust online reviews as much as their personal reviews. So please, I urge everybody, if you bought Core3 Health, if you bought Core3 Beauty, to go write a review on either Unfranchise or shop.com. If you write it on Unfranchise, it's going to transfer over to shop. If you do it on shop, it's going to transfer over to Unfranchise. So don't worry about having to do it at both places and all that. You can add in pictures, you can add videos, videos. You can do whatever you want, because you want, when your customers go back to it, you want them to see that testimonial, that Rochelle, that Karen, that Susan all posted on there, and because it's edifying the product and making them want to reorder.
Absolutely. And just pick your favorite product. You do Core 3 Health, Core 3 Beauty, and your other favorite products. Do a product review tomorrow or tonight before you go to bed. That's something that's so easy to do, and it helps everyone when you do so.
Yes. So a couple more slides, team, and then we'll talk about the next day. But this is one thing that we're missing the boat on as franchise owners. With Core 3 Health and Core 3 Beauty, this is the first time that our customers can develop share of customer by referring other people and earning instant money as a result of it. So, so I can sell my product to Octavio, who's my customer, and I can sell them Core 3 Health. Octavio loves Core 3 Health. Now he knows someone in Marianne who wants to then buy that product as well, who he thinks would be interested in it. He shares that with Marianne. Marianne goes purchases Core 3 Health. Guess what happens? Octavio, my customer, gets $25 in cash for giving that referral, and I get the BV for that. Now, I've heard some complaints from unfranchised owners saying that, well, they don't want to do that because they're losing out on retail profit. If that's the way you're thinking short-sighted. Because here's what I'm thinking about Marianne, who's now a new customer who just generated new BV for me. What Marianne has now done is purchase Core 3 Health. Now there's an opportunity for Marianne to buy other Market America branded products. Guess what happens when Marianne buys more other products that are not Core 3 Health? Octavio doesn't get the $25 or the retail profit for all those other products. He only gets every time that Marianne reorders at $25 for Core 3 Health. When she buys magnesium, aloe, and she gets Core 3 Beauty, guess what? All of that retail profit comes up to me, that BV comes up to me, and I didn't know Marianne until, from Adam until Octavio brought her on and shared it. People got to stop thinking about short-minded, about the $25 that they're missing out. And you got to think about the big cookie, the big incentive that are for that. So you really got to urge these customers of yours who are doing it and who love the product to go out and share it and start earning residual retail profit. Because here's the beauty thing about it. When Marianne brings in Alex, brings in Suzanne and everybody else, then next thing you know, guess what's happening? I can then go to Octavio and say, Octavio, guess what? You're missing out. You're bringing in so much. Yeah, you're making $25 off the retail profit for Core 3 Health. But why don't I tell you about the unfranchised business and how you can earn between $300 and $2,100 a week by building an organization, which I can already see that you're doing right now through referral marketing. That's where the key is, everybody.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Fantastic to see that you can actually get new customers in front of your products and have new business prospects as well.
Exactly. And so this leads us to, as we wrap up, the two next big Zooms. We talk, next Monday, Jason and I will be back talking about new topics for our session 2 for a global Zoom, same time, same bat channel, Monday, April 29th, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be back at it. For our friends and family in Asia Pacific and the UK, Lauren is doing her exclusive virtual access to her Blueprint for Success tour. She's going to be personally doing a Blueprint for Success tour for Asia Pacific, for the UK. The only cost to admission is what? Making sure that you have a registered guest who comes to it. It's as simple as that. Guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for spending your Monday night with Jason and I. I'm so happy that I was able to do this. I'm so happy that I got over my mental things as far as what might happen if I go into AFib again. Guys, time is on my side. Health is on my side. Let's get it done. No more excuses. Let's see it, and let's have another fun session next Monday night.
Love it. Thanks, Steve. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Put your stuff into action. Make sure you put a product review. Get the information about the Blueprint for Success Health Tour. We got the Asia Pacific Zoom. So much going on. We'll see you next week.